to Mahabodhi Society of India, led by Mahendra Singh ji for inviting me here. Professor Kumar ji contacted me, and it was followed by a call from Rana Desh ji.
कुछ आवाज कम आ रही है प्रोफेसर साहब.
Okay. I should get closer. Am I audible now?
Now it is clear now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm closer to the computer and talking a bit loudly. So, thank you so much for inviting me here, and my fellow panelists, Professor Ramesh Prasad and Professor Devkar. I'm happy to be in the esteemed company of great scholars. Since I am a historian and also a student of politics, I think I will deliberate on some of the political views of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. As the students of modern history, we come across his views on multiple occasions. He's a man who holds firmly among the greatest stalwarts of his time. And from 1920s onwards till he passes away. And in 1950s, he is a man who holds the center in many respects. There's multiple politics that revolve around him. He's a man who shapes India's future in many ways, and he's one who points towards the multiple ills that afflict our society, not only of the Hindus, but also of the Muslims. He's one person who is very unequivocal in his comments, very straightforward, not holding to his emotions, but being a very pragmatic or a realist interpreter of the events, and that is seen in his deliberations in the Constituent Assembly also. One of the iconic works that he wrote in 1940 and which he subsequently revised a bit, not much, in 1946, and it was republished in 1950 also. His book on the partition of India. Pakistan or the Partition of India is a voluminous book, running into more than 500 pages and largely ignored. The book doesn't figure too prominently in the discourse on the analysis of the regions for partition, and many scholars chose to ignore it because he was equally harsh towards all sorts of politicians and politics of his time. What comes out very vividly in his book, and he was a person who had attended the roundtable conferences and had seen the Muslim politics from very close quarters, and he's not he's very forthright in mentioning the Hindu cause and the Muslim cause, or this is the demand of the Hindus and this is the demand of the Muslims. What comes out very prominently in his work, and which is maybe absent in the work of many of his contemporaries, that he writes like a lawyer, he writes like a judge, an analyst of events. Though he gives his opinion in between, he's largely banking on figures, the figures of finance, the figures of population, the maps which are cited by Rahmat Ali in 1933 and preceded by Muhammad Iqbal in 1930 in the All India Muslim League Conference in the 1940, and how the Rahmat Ali's map was not discussed so thoroughly in the roundtable conferences. He had not mentioned Bengal as part of the Muslim India that he was thinking about. It was basically the Punjab, Sindh, and Balochistan and the frontier provinces. And then when Iqbal comes to the fore, he enlarges this map, and in 1940, the Bengal is prominently mentioned as one part of Pakistan. He's while mentioning the Hindu cause, Hindu side and the Muslim side, he makes two prominent cases, two prominent parameters. One is the issue of the central government. And if you look at the Muslim League conferences and the demands from 1927 onwards, particularly after 1927 onwards, the Delhi proposals of March 1927, there is a strong emphasis on a very weak central government, that the central government that is formed is very weak, it should not be very strong, and which during the Nehru Committee report in 1928, the Muslim side emphasized quite prominently. And in 1929, when the Nehru Committee report failed, Jinnah came up with his 14 demands, where he uh, actually said that the residuary powers must lie with the provinces, and there was a demand to develop Balochistan frontier provinces and Sindh as separate provinces to, so that ultimately there are five Muslim majority provinces. And if you read the 14 demands of Muhammad Ali Jinnah in 1929, he's also of the opinion that in any constitutional reconfiguration of the provinces in India, boundaries should not be changed in a way which changes the majority character of the Muslim majority provinces. The character of the boundary of the Muslim majority provinces should not be altered in a way that Muslims become a minority there. So what Dr. Ambedkar is doing in his book is he's picking up the Hindu case, then the Muslim case, then the British case, and then his opinion. He is not siding with Hindu side or Muslim side. He writes in his uh, future second edition and in the forward that he writes in the preface he writes that both the sides are unhappy with me. The Hindu side and the Muslim sides are both the sides are unhappy with me. But they should know that there can be no pulling back, because if Pakistan is not considered, if Pakistan is not considered now, or if we look at the Pakistan's demand just as a political demand and not emanating from the people or not seeking the support of a majority of the Muslims, then he said that ultimately, if Pakistan is not considered, then in future, and if you concede their demand for a strong of for a weak central government, then that will be a greater folly. So he says that either you have to concede Pakistan or you have to concede a very weak central government. In the case of having a very weak central government, with most of the powers lying with the provinces or the states, that will be a truce reached with a lot of limitations. And the tensions for a future India will be far more greater than not having considered Pakistan. And from the Pakistan side, he's for those who are demanding Pakistan, he has other kinds of sermons as well. He's also particular. He's also very particular, and something that many historians have not brought out clearly is that he's saying that minorities in both Pakistan and India, the future Pakistan and the future India, should be exchanged with each other. Because if you leave out a part of the minority and then you start behaving, then you start, because you have pushed forward a two-nation theory. He's telling this to the makers of Pakistan, that you have pushed a two-nation theory where you are talking in terms of the incompatibility of the Hindus and Muslims. So are you actually thinking about the minorities of the regions which will go to Pakistan or which will remain in India? So he's giving his own suggestions and advice, something for which his book was ignored subsequently, or people became critical of it. He's one person. If you read the few pages here and there from this book, because the book runs into more than 500 pages. So if you can't read the entire book, so if you read excerpts from here and there, he is very pragmatic, very realistic, and can predict how the India would be in the event of the the demands not being considered, or what would be the attitude of the British government towards the demand. He is also mentioning time and again that the resolution for Pakistan has solicited around the support of around 90% of India's Muslims. So that is also something which cannot be ignored by the Congress. And one thing that comes out prominently in the book is his critique of the linguistic division of the provinces. He's saying that the revenue generation, the finances, the population, the regional variations of the provinces must be taken into account, and not only the linguistic ability or how many people speak which language in a particular province. And as we know that it was in 1920 that Congress for the first time under Gandhi's leadership thought of creating linguistic provinces as far as Congress organizations are concerned. And post-independence also, language became an important criteria for organization of provinces. He's not convinced with the idea. He's also talking about the Hindu society and Muslim society. His views on Hindu society is well known, and he's very critical of the lack of egalitarian ethics. And he keeps on saying that we need social emancipation. He uses the language of reform. For the Islamic societies also, for the Muslim societies also, he keeps on referring to the discrimination on the basis of the Asraf and Azlaf status, and how the low caste converts, low caste Hindu converts continue to face discrimination in the Muslim society, something which many contemporary critics they ignore this aspect, that he is not saying that Islam is an egalitarian society, especially in India. He is very particular that the caste sentiments are equally strong within the Muslims, and he's also critical of the custom of parda or veil, which was prevalent amongst the lower class Muslims in India. So he's not deterred by what others would think, and he makes this point very clear in the preface to the second edition of his book on the partition of India, Pakistan or the partition of India, that I'm not here to please people. I'm here to speak my mind. And both those who seek India's independence and for those who have sought the making of a Pakistan, they would know that this book is quite helpful as far as incidents, data, information, and historical events are concerned. So if you take his Ambedkar's journey from the middle of 1920s and how he advances towards the making of India's constitution, this book, it would appear that this book is not related to those sets of events. But if we look at his strong legal acumen and understanding of economics and finances, you will find a lot of financial data in the book. And his understanding of the geographies, the maps, the population, the diversities. This book is very helpful in reconstructing the events around partition from 1940 onwards. And as a lawyer or as a judge of the events, he's very particular about the primary sources, the sources that he cites, the authenticity. And there many errors had cropped up in his first edition. So when he brings out his second edition, he's very particular about that some errors had cropped up. And these are the errors which, on the insistence of my friends, they have brought out to my notice. I have removed these errors, and now this book is in the final shape. And from 1940 to 46, he says in 1946 that I haven't found any reason to change my opinion. The things that have moved after 19, he must have seen Gandhi, he must have known about Gandhi Jinnah talks of September 1944, where they met for 14 or 15 times in Aga Khan Palace in Bombay, where Gandhi kept on insisting, kept on persuading Jinnah to forget his demand for Pakistan and accept something which is sort of Pakistan, a blueprint that was prepared by Chakravarti Rajgopalachari, and how Jinnah kept on insisting that Gandhi should first admit that he is a Hindu mascot or he has his hair on the behalf of the Hindus of India. Dr. Ambedkar must have seen these things very closely, and also how the Simla Conference of June 1945 failed on Jinnah's insistence that all members of Viceroy's Council must be, all Muslim members of Viceroy's Council must be nominated by the Muslim League, and they should not be nominated, not even one member should be nominated by the Viceroy or the Congress. So he saw the importance of the Muslim League and Jinnah in the eyes of the British government, His Majesty's government in India. And he realized that, however politically or emotionally we may oppose the idea of Pakistan, we cannot ignore it because there is a huge sentiments in its favor among the from the Muslim bloc and the British government in other areas of the Europe, also in other areas of the world, had played their cards along these lines. So the reading of Pakistan or the partition of India, the book by Ambedkar, is very significant, is very important for the students of politics and history. This is one book uh, which is written with a lot of data at his disposal, and something which brings out the legal acumen in Dr. Ambedkar, and something which stands in good support of him when he when he gives final shapes to India's constitution. And he's very particular that divisive tendencies should not take deep roots in India. So our generation, the future generation, should be indebted to Dr. Ambedkar. And on his birthday, we should remember Dr. Ambedkar as an academician and intellectual par excellence who knew his mind, who knew through his writings. He says that my writings have made people unhappy, but my job is not to make people happy and then continue writing. So, how to write fearlessly with a lot of frankness and to assess the situation, the seriousness of the situation, and not only through a prism of what I like or what I dislike. So, Dr. Ambedkar, to our current generation, should come up as an intellectual and academician who was ready to speak his mind. Thank you so much. And I think these books are available online. These are books are available on government's websites also. And critiques are also available, analysis are also available. Thank you so much, MBSI, Mahabodhi Society of India, for giving me this opportunity on this solemn occasion. This occasion is very significant and is an important part of India's destiny. Thank you so much.